Hello and good evening. Welcome to you all. I'm a little bit early. I'm 8 minutes early, so I'm not going to start the program. As you can see, it's not dark. Behind me, it is woo, 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 woo. It's actually a light outside the house. Um, you have got this silly microphone of mine pointing here. There we are. Anyway, I didn't put some cushions behind my back, which was very stupid of me. So I'm going to have to sit like this. Oop. Um, anyway, um, nobody has come in yet. One of you has. Hello, Heidi. Hello, Heidi Crimmins. Hello, Mr. Man. Hello, Mr. Man. Welcome and thank you. Um, you know, the light has changed for all of us across the world. There's over 18 of you already immediately, and we're not even 7 minutes away from starting point for the program. But hello to all 18 of you. I don't know who all 18 of you are, but hello to the judge Clips, who has said hello. Lady Min says hello to you all, doesn't she? Yes.
Yes.
Lady Min says hello. Yes, there we are. She does say hello, and tonight she's going to be enjoying participating in a civilized fashion. So we say cheers to her, and we have lots to talk about, lots indeed. But anyway, right. How am I doing? I'm doing absolutely well. Thank you, Patricia. I'm absolutely tip top. Cheers to you, Patricia. This is a glass of wine, but I'll be moving on to the whiskey shortly because I saved the wine for Lady Min because that's what she needs. There we go. I'm looking most handsome. That's very kind of you to say, but I don't think so. Good evening to Lady Min, says Heidi Crimmins.
Heidi, thank you.
She says, thank you, Heidi. Hello, Heidi. Hi. Yes, we say hello to you, Heidi. Anyway, before we begin, whilst we wait for a few more people to come in, we've got 6 minutes until the start of this program. Any questions? Please ask me any questions you want to ask me. Please ask a question. I will happily try and answer the question on any manner of topics other than the topics that I'm going to be covering this evening, which my topics this evening will be about the horrible people who want to pull down Jane Austen's house, the Jane Austen house, the Kelsey Grammar man wanting to pull down a house. It's a bit like the crooked house. You remember how enthusiastic you all got when I campaigned against the wicked bastards that pulled down the Crooked House pub. That beautiful pub that was, why did they need to do that to that pub? How dare they? Awful. And you can't go around destroying beautiful old buildings. Not correct. Never do such a thing. So we've got that as a story. We've got Mohammed Fayed and his payouts. A bit of a Jeremy Bamber because, we need to follow up on Jeremy Bamber. And, well, there we are. The Menendez brothers and, anything else that you want to talk about. So there we are. Anyway, so have any of you any questions? How's the weather in France today? Well, you can see from behind me, it's glorious. We've had a lovely day here today. We've sat in the sunshine all day long. It's been fabulous to sit outside. The sad thing is there's lots of building work going on, so there's a lot of noise, which kind of gets in the way. But other than that, it's lovely to be outside. When they're not drilling, it's fabulous. That's the only problem, because at this time of year they want to do all the work because they're not allowed to do the work in the summer. So there is a bit of drilling noise, but other than that, it's absolutely great, absolutely fabulous. So no problem at all. And I like to sit outside at 7 o'clock in the morning. So, I can cope with it because they don't start drilling until 8. So at least I get 1 hour with freedom from noise. So there we are. Am I near a beach? Yes, we are near a beach, but I'm not really into beaches. I don't like sand. I hate sand in my feet. I have this weird thing about sand. Can't stand sand. Ugh, horrible. Not my kind of thing. But each to their own. Some people love going in the sand, but I think sand could be full of all sorts of rubbish. People's dogs can relieve themselves. I think it's disgusting. I don't have any interest in going near sand. I hate sand. I have a problem with it. There we go. You saw the Labour Party broadcast with Angela Rayner just now. It was pathetic. Amanda, please tell us about the Labour Party broadcast with Angela Rayner. So Raving Rayner is, she's a pretty lowbrow piece of scum. Let's be honest. This woman, Council House Raving Rayner, who somehow pulled off pulling herself up the drawbridge. I don't know how she did it. She's got this child that does this OnlyFans kind of porn filming. Disgusting. There's so much lowbrow about Raving Rayner. There she is partying in Ibiza. Okay, look, nothing wrong with having a bit of fun in your life. Everybody should have fun. I have no problem with fun. I know all sorts of people who do all sorts of things, and I don't want to stop people taking drugs, taking alcohol. Do what the hell you want in your bloody life. But this woman, there's something sanctimonious and nasty about her, the way she talks to the general population, yet she thinks she can do what she bloody well wants. We don't like Raving Arena. No. And I don't like Queen of Thieves, Rachel Reeves, the woman who is harming the wonderful farmers of Great Britain. Do not attack farmers. Without farmers, you wouldn't have a hedgerow. You wouldn't have your Lake District. You wouldn't have your Yorkshire Dales. You wouldn't have Exmoor. You wouldn't have all of those places, all of those reserves where you all go. So stop attacking the farmers, you stupid idiots. You are a bunch of nitwits, knobs, and noxious Neanderthals. There you go. I had to use the N word because I couldn't think of it. I like a bit of alliteration, so there you go. But anyway, that's how I feel about these nitwits. Anyone who attacks a farmer, shame on you. Do you know how much the average hill farmer earns in Great Britain? £12,000 per year. And I'm not, this is not a topic I was planning to talk about, but I know so much about this topic. I can talk off record. I can talk straight off. 12,000 a year. How could anyone live on 12,000 a year for a start? What is the biggest rate of male suicide of any industry in Britain? Hill farmers. A hill farmer is more likely to commit suicide than anyone else because it is the loneliest profession. These are wonderful people who work so hard for us, and shame on you, Rachel Reeves, Queen of Thieves. You are attacking them. And I say, well done to Jeremy Clarkson. Jeremy Clarkson should be given a knighthood for what he's done to support these wonderful farmers. These farmers are the lifeblood of our wonderful country. I love the farmer. Starmer, you are the farmer harmer. You are a disgrace. You are sick in the head for what you've done to them. You should meet with these people and you should say sorry. And you should say, I'm cancelling a stupid tax. You should leave the farmers alone. Farmers are the lifeblood of the countryside. We need farmers to keep our beautiful green and pleasant land beautiful and green and pleasant. Shame on you. I don't like him. Yes. Beck says Jeremy Clarkson doesn't do farmers any favors. Well, I totally disagree with you, Beck. You're entitled to your view, but I think you're talking a load of old codswallops. So there we go. Anyway, I don't agree with you. So there we are. Right. Yes. Average return on investment for a farmer is just a few percent. Farmers work bloody hard, and without farmers, there would be no countryside. So celebrate the farmer. Wouldn't you agree, Lady Min?
Yes.
We have to celebrate the farmer. Expialidocious doesn't like Jeremy. Okay, lots of you don't like Jeremy Clarkson. You think he's a tax evader and, he's just buying a farm to write off a bit of his tax. But no, I think he did a great bit of work. I went on the farmers' protest myself, and coming from a rural background myself, I was there, and I think he did a great job in leading the protest. I think he did a great job indeed. And I think his program, Clarkson's Farm, has made the general public interested in farming. I think that is a fabulous thing he's done. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes.
Yes, we both agree about that. There's not much that we agree about because we often disagree, as you know. But there we go. It's absolutely appalling. Don't cheat the farmer. The farmer is saving your beautiful countryside. I'm a big supporter of rewilding also, as you know. And that goes against what some farmers want to do. But I love farming. Farming is a fabulous thing. And this government, aside from, turning off the heating for some old pensioners who, being mean, they picked on the farmers. Shame on you, Starmer. Starmer, the farmer harmer. There's something bloody wrong with that man. He's mentally unhinged because don't ever pick on farmers. Farmers are the best. And we stand together and we will not tolerate what you're doing to us. And, I was there in that protest in November. Okay, there were lots of people there who thought it was a bit, they could turn up for a bit of fun, like Katie Hopkins. She's just a fucking pain in the ass, let's be honest. And, but Jeremy Clarkson was a man who turned up because he has changed the voice of farming. He's made farming accessible to the public through his wonderful program, Clarkson's Farm. I don't watch it because I don't have, all these things. I don't have a VPN. I don't watch any television in France. The only things I watch are Howard's Way. I watch Howard's Way on YouTube. That's about all I'm limited to. And I listen to Radio 4, which is a bit left wing, but, I'm allegedly a bit left wing myself. But I love Radio 4 and I love the Archers. And, that's my bit of farming. But I support the farming community wholeheartedly. The Labour Party is despicable, says Expialidocious. Totally agree. Elaine Harvey, we stand by the farmers. The Irish say that the definition of a gentleman farmer is he's neither. I don't know what that means, Mr. Man, but there we go. We city dwellers are too far removed from the soil. We need to support our farmers, says Claudia. I agree with all of you. Yes, totally. Our farmers look after the cows brilliantly and their dogs are amazing. Well, I can't disagree with that. There we go. My neighbor is a sheep farmer and he loses money by shearing their fleeces. Yes, the farmers are not having a good time, but we must support our farmers. I think it is a absolutely No farmer, no farmer, no future. I tell you that. You know, if there's no hedgerows, there's no bees and there's no anything else. Our hedgerows are our life, and the farmers look after the hedgerows. So that's another point that we need to make. No farmer, no food. Precisely. Farmers are fantastic people. Don't harm the farmer. And Starmer harms the farmer. Starmer, harmer, farmer. Yes, absolutely. He is a piece of work and he has to go. I don't have a problem with his wife because his wife, weirdly, I have to keep moving this light. It keeps going from, it looks like I'm turning into Donald Trump. I don't know what's happening here. But his wife loves horse racing, and we love people who love horse racing. And at least I don't think Farmer Harmer Starmer is going to harm horse racing because his wife likes going to watch. That's the only redeeming feature of this dreadful man. But the worst of the lot is this raving Raina. She is a disgusting, revolting woman. She's filthy, absolutely vile. I can't stand her potty mouth, her disgusting child, and pornography. Awful, absolutely vile. And as for Queen of Thieves, Rachel Reeves, well, she's just going to be the sacrificial cow lamb, the sacrificial lamb, and they'll throw her out to when they're ready, because someone has to be blamed for everything that's gone wrong thus far. Absolutely ghastly government. I can't believe that this government could be so bad. With the mandate it had, with the majority it had, and this is what they're doing to all of us. Shame on them. Absolute shame on them. Disgraceful. Our farmers, as Stevie D says, are just the best. Passionate, hard-working people, and I love them. I'd like to have farmers in government. Well, we can't have farmers in government in the current Labour Party because they hate farmers. So we're not going to get any of. We need a new movement. We don't need Nigel Farage. He doesn't care about us. He cares about himself. Like last night when he did his little rally, he wanted to say how big he was. He's Mr. Big and he wants to be the new Donald Trump of Britain. And, he is not the man to save this country. He is a total toe rag, an utter disgrace. I would never support the dreadful Farage, far rage. He is awful, absolutely sick in the head. Right. Can he take Miliband and Blyer with him? I'd like a bit of Cecil Parkinson and Margaret. Well, Cecil Parkinson, of course, went to my school, and Margaret, of course, was a very dear family friend. We loved Margaret. We absolutely adored our Margaret, and we've been talking fondly today about Margaret, actually. I miss Margaret so much because all my memories with her were so fabulous. Even the bad times when bad things happened they ended up being fun because Margaret turned everything from good to bad. Margaret was one of the most amazing people in the world ever. And I don't think in history many people are going to surpass the amazingness of Margaret. Wouldn't you agree? Hello?
Me.
The amazingness of Margaret.
Yeah.
Margaret changed the world for the better. She took a country that was a mess and she turned it around. And she was exceptional as a leader. You could not beat such an amazing success story. Margaret, I know many of you will say that she was divisive, she was wicked, she was the milk snatcher, whatever you want to come out with, that you don't like her. But I can tell you, I was very, very lucky to spend time with this amazing leader of the free world who was the first woman to lead Britain in the way that she did. And, the Americans respected her. Everybody, the Russians respected her. Gorbachev thought she was fabulous. And you name it. I'm talking completely off any script right now. Margaret, she just did it. There's nobody that woman wouldn't have charmed. If you'd met her, you'd have liked her. Whether you were a socialist or you were a far right person, you would have loved Margaret. There's no way you wouldn't have liked her. Clever. She was a one-off, as Simon Coates says. Mr. Lee Kicker says Wales hated her. Well, they may have hated her in Wales, but I can tell you, if you'd met her, you'd have liked her. There we are. Steve O says, I was one of those who suffered under Mrs. Thatcher, but she made me get off my arse, and I thank her. Well, there we go. So I don't know how you suffered, but she made you get off your arse and be better, and you thank her. So that's a nice thing of you to say. So thank you. Totally agree with what you say about far age. Yes. We must use local produce, says Stevie D. Yes, I totally support that. We must start supporting our local farmers in Britain. Okay, I'm not in Britain at the moment, but I will be back in Britain again soon. I will say, yes, support the local farmer. Always support the local. Never support faraway people. Don't do that. Claudia G says, I heard her staff liked her. Well, in our quiz tonight, I will bring up the amazing lady that worked for her, who I also knew. Yes, I'll bring her up in the quiz. I'll do that quiz instead of my other quiz. You've just made me change which quiz I'm going to use. Was she a libertarian? No, she believed in freedom of speech. Of course she did. Margaret Thatcher was not about stopping other people doing things. She wanted people to do things. Margaret wanted people to be successful and achieve. That's why she gave them their council houses and said, have the council house, things like that. No, Margaret was not about stopping things. She was about encouraging things. Margaret was amazing. She wasn't capable. Well, she was at least capable of answering a bloody question, unlike other people today. I agree with you there, Beck. There we are. She did answer, So I'll come to one of those in one of my quiz questions later about something to do with what she once said. So there we go. We're on a roll tonight. It's going to be a great chat. Thank you, Stevie D. Yes. Section 28. Right. Look, times are different. The world has moved on since. But, Margaret Thatcher was from a different era. Margaret was a different era. So I'm not going to say she got everything right, but there we go. You don't like her selling council houses. Okay, right. Well, there we go. Stevie D will take notes for the quiz tonight. Thank you, Stevie D. Look, I respect that some of you do not like Margaret Thatcher. My mother is a socialist. My mother is a left-wing person. My mother is a university, person who has very differing views to me. I respect that some people don't have the same views as me. Wouldn't you agree, Lady Min? Sometimes we can all have differing views, can't we? But we respect the right of other people to have differing views. Yes? Yes. Anyway, she's gone half to sleep. So there we go. What are my thoughts on Marine Le Pen? Well, she's just a ghastly, horrible person. Don't like her. Awful. Not really interested in talking about her. Throw her in jail. Boring. Not interested in her. But there's, I'm sure many people think she's wonderful, but I'm just not interested. It's just not my topic. Right. Right. There we go. Okay. So anyway, here we are. We're starting to get into this program. We're going to soon begin with a topic. We're nearly at 100 viewers. So when we're at 100 viewers, I'll give it a kickstart and I'll say something. But no, I think clowns to the left and jokers to the right, unfortunately, says Mr. Man. Well, you're completely correct. Lots of those. What's the largest council house in England? Well, of course, the largest council house in England was Robert Maxwell's home, Headington Hill House in Oxfordshire. So that is the correct answer to your question, Hatchy Hatch. I don't know why you asked that, but there we are. So Robert Maxwell loved his little council house, as he called it. It was not Buckingham House. No, it was Headington Hill House in Oxfordshire, home to Robert Maxwell, a very vile, evil man, wicked and deceptive and sick in the head. And, he fell off the back of the boat on the 5th of November 1991, bonfire night. Appropriate, really, wasn't it, that he fell off the back of the boat on a bonfire night? There we are. So Maxwell's house. It wasn't Maxwell's house coffee. No, nothing to do with that. So there we are. Anyway, right. Have I heard about Virginia Giuffre's accident? Asks Beck. I'm very sorry, I haven't heard about Virginia Giuffre's accident. What accident has happened to Virginia? I don't know, because I don't know Virginia. I've never actually spoken with Virginia. I've actually never personally had a conversation with her. I've spoken with other victims of Ghislaine Maxwell, but I've never actually spoken with Virginia. So what's happened to Virginia? I don't know. Beck says she's been in a car accident and she has 4 days to live. I cannot confirm or deny that, and I cannot check that whilst I'm doing this program. So I don't know. I've no idea if Virginia has been in a car accident. But if Virginia has been in a car accident, I'm very sorry to hear that. That would be an appalling thing. It's on Sky News, you're saying. Well, I can't read it whilst I'm doing this program, but if that is true, that's an appalling thing. But anyway, we're not going to cover that because I have no information in front of me. I'm going to talk about things that I actually know about, that I have facts about. So, no, we won't be going down that track. Right. Well, I can try and have a look, but I will find it very hard to do this whilst I'm doing this program. But it would be impossible. Oh, well, I don't know. I have to open my computer. I only have one computer. I need to get another computer. I realize that this is a problem. I'm totally useless with technology, as you know, but I don't know what's happened to Virginia. I'm very sorry to hear if Virginia has had an accident. That's a terrible thing to hear. Very sorry to hear it if it's true. But I don't know if this is fact or it's fiction. Let me have a look. Right, I shall have a look right now. Well, if it's true, well, I'm very sorry to hear it. But I have never met Virginia. Right, okay. Oh dear. Well, I'm very, very sorry to hear that this is allegedly um, well, she has been in a car crash. Okay. Well, I didn't know this. I'm very sorry to say I had no knowledge of this, and I'm very sorry for Virginia. Virginia, I proved that Virginia didn't lie because I was the person who proved that Ghislaine Maxwell, about the bathtub in Kinnerton Street, Belgravia. So Ghislaine claimed to the FBI that the bathtub was a half tub. I got the measurements of the bathtub because I got inside the house and I got the photographs. And I did the story with the Daily Mail, and we proved that the bathtub was a full-sized bathtub. So I proved that Virginia wasn't a liar about the bathtub because Ghislaine claimed that nobody could have sexual relations in the bathtub because it was too small. But I proved it was a full-size, standard-size bathtub. I can't remember what exactly the measurements are, but I did that story with the Daily Mail. I did it first in my own publication, and then the Daily Mail took it. So there you go. And they paid me for that story. That's the only time I've ever been paid by the Daily Mail, by the way. But I took the money because, quite frankly, I did the work and I'm entitled to the money. So I don't care if I took the money. I proved that that was true. So I'm sorry for Virginia. Virginia did not lie about the bathtub. That's for sure. And nasty little Ghislaine, witch Ghislaine, definitely told a lie. So there we are. And I'm very, very, very sorry to hear that Virginia is at death's door, if that is the case. I'm very sorry to hear that. But I don't know Virginia. I've never spoken to Virginia. I don't know her. Never met her. Never had any correspondence with her because there's no way I would. But I do deal with many other victims of Ghislaine, particularly the English one, who is a great friend of mine and has been for many years prior to even my knowing about Ghislaine. Weirdly, but there we go. So yeah, I'm very sorry to hear of. Wouldn't you agree, Lady Min? No, she's gone to sleep. Um, well, she got 12 million from Prince Andrew, allegedly. But if you end up being hit by a bus, that's not a nice thing to happen to you, is it? Absolutely awful. Absolutely awful. Why is Lady Victoria Harvey supporting Prince Andrew? I don't know. I saw Lady Victoria last in December at a party, and she was quite civil to me, but I don't get what her involvement in the whole thing is. Quite frankly, she should put a sock in it. Let's be honest. There we go. There we are. Anyway, so next questions. Well, I didn't know. I didn't imagine we'd end up talking about this because I had absolutely no idea that this lady had been put in this situation. Anyway, I'm just going to quickly pour myself a glass of wine. Just give me a moment. There you are. Well, I couldn't believe it. I'm very sorry to hear this about poor Virginia. And that's an absolutely awful thing to learn live whilst we're on the conversation. Um, you know, Prince Andrew behaved appallingly. We do know that. Whatever happened that night with her in that picture, he behaved appallingly. And then there are the pictures of Virginia in the same clothes on the yacht of Flavio Briatore with Bernie Eccleston, with Naomi Campbell, the old diamond, the blood diamond bitch. All these bad people. Birds of a feather flock together. And poor Virginia, I don't know this girl. Okay, she may have got 12 million. Whatever she got from Prince Andrew, well, now it doesn't look like it's done her any good because now it looks like she's at death's door, according to what I've just read on the internet. But I haven't had a chance to read it properly, so I don't know what the real truth is. But poor woman, abused by Jeffrey Epstein, abused by Ghislaine Maxwell, abused by Flavio Briatore and all that crowd. Disgusting. Awful, awful people. They are a wicked web of deceivers, liars, cheats, and thieves. I didn't imagine that I'd be going down this rabbit hole tonight, but yeah. Who paid off the bill? Enigma, you could be right. Right. Simon Coates says, thanks for bringing up the subject. Well, thank you. But I can't really comment without evidence. I need to have a look at the evidence. So I wasn't planning on talking too much about this. But poor Virginia, yes. But I didn't know Virginia. I will make it very clear to you here and now. I have never spoken with Virginia Giuffre Roberts or whatever her name is, Virginia Roberts, Virginia Giuffre. I'm very sorry to hear that she is in such a state. I find it very odd that something like this has happened to her, but I'm not a conspiracy theorist. Things happen in life. So I don't know. I have no idea. Look, I'm not going down the rabbit hole of conspiracy. Please don't ask me, did someone, I don't need that. I'm not going to answer that question because I can't. Right. Well, no. I don't want to speculate. No. Anyway, so we'll move along. I don't want to talk about this any further because, quite frankly, it is not the topic I want to talk about tonight. Right. No, not going to do it. So thank you. That topic is over. So I made a comment under a pseudonym, of course, on the Jeremy Bamber article in the Daily Mail. I thought, what a wonderful article. Well done to the two journalists involved. Absolutely fabulous work by them. Just a minute. What was their names? I've got to go back a bit. Scott Jones and Glenn Owen. Well done to them, because I said, don't forget the 6:09 a.m. phone call made from inside the house when Jeremy Bamber was outside the house with the police officers, and inside the movement inside was seen in the windows. Just as pertinent in proving Essex police bungled this case. My comment was number one. I'm not going to give away my pseudonym, but you can easily find it if you work it out on the Mail Online. So there we go. I got 115 likes versus 32 dislikes, because of course many people don't like Jeremy Bamber, but it was the most popular comment on the entire article. Now, I think it's amazing that the mail online is starting to turn in favor of Jeremy Bamber. Isn't that a wonderful thing? Because 10 years ago, I would say I was 40% in favor of Jeremy Bamber. I'm now 99% in favor of Jeremy Bamber. Of course, there is a chance that he was the murderer. Every situation, there is a possibility that somebody could have done it. But the evidence I have seen and I have been presented with by the wonderful Jeremy Bamber campaign team, who are the most hardworking, amazing bunch of people. I'm not going to name them because I don't want to do that in public, because I don't think it's fair to them, because I think that some of them don't want to be named. They are thorough, they're decent, and they're diligent. And, this is a situation now where the Criminal Cases Review Commission needs to man up, grow up, and show up and deal with the case. So I want that dealt with. So I'm very keen to get that dealt with. There we are. Do I think Michael Barrymore had anything to do with Jeremy Bamber? No. Tom, I think you are barking up the wrong bloody tree. So let's not, whoever you are, I think you're just trying to be crackpot, and you're writing it in capital letters as well. So please don't. Please go away with your stupid allegation. It's a silly thing to say. This is not a joke. It's a man's life. The man has been in prison for over 40 years, and leave him alone. So stop going on about Barrymore. And Barrymore also, what went on with Stuart Lubbock. I'm a friend of the Lubbock family, so leave them alone as well. So shame on you. Absolutely go away. Please bog off, whoever you are. Ram it up your jumper. I'm not interested in hearing any more from you. Do not attack victims of crime. That is an appalling thing to do, whoever you are. Tom, I don't think your joke is funny. So bog off. Shove it up your bloody jumper. Bye. Whoever you are, piss off. Right. Yes, he's a troll. I would agree. Right. They were shot in the Range Rover, says Mr. Mann. No, nobody was shot in the Range Rover. So don't start on that. It's nothing to do with the Range Rover murders. So don't start on that either. Please, I don't need any of your nonsense. Bye-bye. Next. Right. Barrymore is a cowardly custard. Yes, I agree about that, but he's got nothing to do with the story of Jeremy Bamber. It's absolutely, totally too, just because they occurred in the same county. Yes, two cases of an incompetent police force. Yes, I can agree that relates, but that's about it. Do I enjoy watching any sports? Yes, of course. I love horse racing. I'm going to come to a bit of horse racing for you later. We'll talk a bit about that later. So, Jason, you'll get a bit of Grand National from me later, but not yet. So, there we are. Did I like the series White House Farm? I certainly did not like the series White House Farm. I don't like Carol Ann Lee. I have met Carol Ann Lee, who also wrote the book about Pottery Cottage murders. The Pottery Cottage murders, or whatever they were called, Potter Cottage, or whatever they were called, in Derbyshire, which was where my grandfather lived, in Derbyshire. Absolutely another load of rubbish that she wrote. She is an absolute nitwit. She's a twit. She writes appalling crap. She's completely unhinged, that woman. And I met her and I told her to her face. I said, I don't like your work. I think your work's rubbish. Because she gets it wrong in two cases. She got it wrong about White House Farm and she got it wrong about Pottery Cottage. But in White House Farm, she made loads of dough because, of course, she got ITV to do the program with, the Fox boy and the rest of them. Shameful. Pack of lies, she told. Absolute rubbish. The woman is demented. I don't like Caroline Lee. I know. I don't like her disgusting White House Farm program. Absolutely appalling because it's inaccurate. It's totally lacking in history. So why do I say it's inaccurate? Because, the main actor, Fox, I can't remember his name, whatever, the brother of cousin, whatever, of Lawrence Fox, he was given the opportunity to meet Jeremy Bamber and he wouldn't go. He wouldn't even meet the person he was playing when he had the chance to do that. What's wrong with you, you stupid Burke? You're obviously off your brain. Because if you want to play somebody and you have the opportunity to meet the real life person, you don't have to like them, but you can go and chat to them for half an hour and you can walk away and go, don't like you. But he didn't. Oh, complete coward. Complete Burke. And that's exactly what Caroline Lee stands for. Caroline Lee is weak and pathetic, ghastly and grim. Awful woman. You'd like a good tip for the National? Well, you might be getting one. Lazy Freddie Fox, says Beck. Yes, Freddie Fox was a very lazy actor. Totally lazy. Couldn't be bothered to meet somebody who was prepared to meet him, who he was going to play, and he was going to make out to be all sorts of things that he was not. Simon Coates says Bamber had a boyfriend. I don't know if that's true or not, but he seemed to have girlfriends, quite a few of them. So I don't think that's possibly true, but you never know. People could be up to anything. Do I like to ski? Asks Tom, who's come back again. I have been skiing, but it's not my favorite activity. No. Why would I want to go to? I like après ski. That's about it, really. I'd rather go to Zermatt and sit at the top of the mountain and have a beverage. Let's be honest. Right. Yes. Mr. Lee Kicker says, yes, you've been warned. There we go. Right. Did Sheila have a boyfriend? She had a husband and she had 2 children. Yes, she had 2 children. They were twin boys and they both died in the tragedy. It was a tragedy, and I believe Sheila was the murderess. And then she turned the gun on herself, so it was murder-suicide. There we go. And Jeremy did have a girlfriend called Julie Mugford. She was paid on the basis that Jeremy was convicted. She gave evidence, and she was also a check fraudster herself. She admitted to crimes which she wasn't charged with because she did a deal, and then she was paid by a newspaper on the basis he was convicted. So she's a real piece of class, and she lives in Canada. That's her name, Julie Mugford. It's a horrible name, isn't it? Would you want to be called Mrs. Mugford? Ew. Ghastly. Mugford. Ugh. I can't stand Ford cars and I don't like mugs. So there we are. Shove it up her jumper. Another horrible person. Right. Right. She was a good time girl. Yeah, she was a bit of a fraudster. Anyway, Jeremy having a boyfriend does not equate to murder. I don't think Jeremy did even have a boyfriend. I think this is a bit of um, a misnomer thrown into the equation by somebody here. As far as I'm aware, he didn't have any boyfriend. So anyway, my friend went to school with him, and he and his mother used to love having him over for Sunday lunch. So I'm not going to say who this person is, but as far as we're aware, Jeremy Bamber was a decent heterosexual male. But even if he were into men, it doesn't really matter, does it? You know, why can't you let anyone be what they want to be? But no, I don't think Jeremy Bamber was a homosexual. So there we are. Why is this relevant? And asks Beck. Yes, I don't know why you're bringing this up. I don't know why you're attacking him for this. Just because you don't like him, you're having a pop at him and trying to say he's a homosexual. Well, there's nothing wrong with being a homosexual, for a start. If someone wants to be a gay, good for them. If they want to be a lesbian, let them be a lesbian. If they want to be a tree, let them be a tree. If they want to be a cat, let them be a cat. If you want to be a dog or a dragon, like the woman I knew in Broadstairs who she wasn't a woman, she was a dragon. She told me she was a dragon. Let anyone be whatever they want to bloody be. Leave them alone. So don't you start on my channel attacking Jeremy Bamber and saying he was a homosexual. Because for a start, I don't think he was or is. He's in prison anyway. He doesn't have any opportunity to have any relations with any women in prison, obviously, because he's in prison, in a male prison. So he can't have sexual relations with women currently, can he? So you know that's a fact before you start. But now you're trying to say he's a homosexual. Well, put a sock in it, you stupid old Burke. Whoever you are, you're ghastly. Shut up and bog off. Don't like you. So there we go. Barry says his sexuality is irrelevant. I salute you, Barry. Barry, you're the best. You just did it in one word. Claudia, you agree. I agree with you as well. There we go. We don't need people coming in here with a load of old rot. Shame on you. Absolutely stupid people. Were you born in a barn? Were you born in a ditch? Are you just dumb? Are you the weakest link? As Anne Robinson, my lovely friend Anne Robinson, would say, you're the weakest link. Goodbye. Please don't come here again. We don't want to hear from you people. You are a bunch of bloody balls. Bog off. That's how I feel about you lot. So there we go. Can we have a National Straight Male Day, please? Says Hatchy. I'd totally agree with you. You know, we should have male straight pride. Yeah, why not? They have gay straight pride, gay pride. So why can't there be straight pride? Why not? There's lesbian, whatever. Why can't we have straight pride? We don't really need. I don't know. I don't like it. I don't want a day of anything. I don't think we should even have a national coffee day or a national gin day. And I love gin. No, I don't feel the need for any national day actually. So cancel it all. But anyway, cheers to anyone who wants to do anything. There we are. I don't need a Matthew Steeples day. That's very kind of you to say, but I am totally irrelevant to the world. I am absolutely pointless. Nobody needs to hear anything of me. So no, nothing about me. But it's very kind of you to say, Barry. You think Pancake Day is important and Mother's Day. Cancel it all, says Roxy Lee. There we go. I would agree with Roxy Lee. Let's cancel it all. Right. So let's move along. We'll move along to a topic. Another topic. Right. Okay. We'll move along to the topic of the night once I've poured myself a whiskey, because I think I need a whiskey to get through it. I don't have much whiskey left because my guests yesterday, well, they like to drink. They're sailing people and they love whiskey. So they just drank me out of house and home. I did have 3/4 of a bottle of whiskey before they arrived, and then they turned up and, well, that was the end of that. Anyway, never mind. It doesn't matter. I'll go and get some more tomorrow. That's how life works. Anyway, so the story of the night, the key story, before we get to the other stories, is the Jane Austen house. So there's a house called Ash Park House. It's located in near Basingstoke. But it's like the Crooked House pub. It's a 17th century but unlisted building. And sadly, it's going to be demolished. It's a heartbreaking loss for literary history, said one person. This house was bought by a couple. You'll love their names. Shok Ting Sharon Leung, Chinese obviously, and Gillian Sin Hang Ho, who paid £17 million for this lovely house. In October 2022, they bought the 232-acre estate with 7-bedroom house for that period. It was where Jane Austen attended balls, and she mentioned in her letters. And now they want to tear it down. They claim it lacks architectural merit. It's tired, it's unmanaged, and 20 locals have objected. It's not a listed building, surprisingly, even though it was built in the 1600s. Can you believe this? How on earth can you allow a building built in the 1600s to be pulled down? And I'll come to many reasons why these people are beyond the pale for attacking this thing. It's not listed, but it has got historical interest. So I have to go back and forth in my pages because I went through about 15 articles to write my notes on this particular one. Right. So these people bought it in October 2022 with 232 acres. It was originally part of an estate of 1,787 acres when it was remodeled by Colonel Robert Portal between 1862 and 1888. The estate gradually declined to 870 acres in 1924, 650 acres 1926, but by 1932 had 1,663 acres, including a stretch of fishing on the River Test excellent shooting and a house with every modern convenience in a secluded position in a well-timbered park. So, it went through ups and downs. In between the 1930s and 1975, the ownership went through the royal family. There was a fire in 1938 which destroyed the roof at the West End, replaced with a flat roof and parapet. It was extended in the 1950s with projecting wings. In 1975, there was the extraction of mineral water, the Ash Park mineral water, which, of course, many of you probably know of. The venture failed. By 1985, the house had just 42 acres left. It was for sale for £750,000. It went derelict. But by the 1990s, a new owner revived it, and the grounds were landscaped. Polo Centre was established. Ash Park mineral water was successfully relaunched. By 2006, the last owners, before these creeps who want to demolish this beautiful house, bought it in meticulously detailed format. They carried out a program of works that saw the interiors transformed and the front elevation extended to create a spectacular reception hall and a guest suite above. So this house in 2006 was not in a state of dereliction. That these two who want to now demolish it because they say it is completely rubbish, say it is. So it's currently a 13,134 square foot house, and Penny Churchill of Country Life, and I've met Penny I've never met Penny Churchill, but I've spoken with Penny Churchill of Country Life. She's a bit posh. She's terribly nice, and she's their property correspondent. Absolutely nice. And she called it elegant living space on 3 floors. So she didn't go there. She just wrote some old rubbish about it. It had 22,000 square foot of modern agricultural building, 16-box stable yard. The price was in excess of 18 million. So they got a £1 million discount at the old Chinese. The old Chinese got the price down by £1 million. And on Twitter, what people said was, whilst not every old building merits preservation, it's pretty galling that foreign owners with no connection to the UK can get away with this. Fucked, hashtag we are. Fucked, hashtag we are. Welcome to third world Britain, where foreigners rule the roost. That's what they said. Daily Mail readers said, dreadful owners. Now I wonder how much of a backhander somebody got for this. So much for the British history. Everything has a price. Another one who was in support of them, the Chinese, said, knock it down, probably a dump anyhow, and sod the sentimentalist. Another one said, disgusting how the local council supported this heinous request. Another one said, how did I know there were going to be foreign names attacking them? Local residents are troubled, said Country Life. Fury, says the Daily Express. It did partly burn down. It has been remodeled, said others. The facade is a mishmash of styles, said others. There are various differing views of this house. So what do you think of this house? Please tell me. Burned down? Yeah, right. Yeah, there we go. Right. Did I ever live near Essex? No, I've never lived near Essex. No. Expialidocious says, save it. What is the name of the house? It's called Ash Park. Ash Park House. It won't be saved because it's not listed. And the reason it won't be saved is, let me find my notes. Da-da-da-da. I can tell you exactly. The Chinese applied for a certificate of immunity from listing in 2024, so it cannot go on the listed buildings register until August 2029. Ash Park has no more protection, as the Daily Mail said, than an average 3-bedroom semi-detached house. So it's finished. It's over. It's bang out. Isn't that terrible, ladymen?
Mm-hmm.
The destruction of Ash Park House.
It's very bad.
We should save this beautiful house and leave it alone. It was built in the 1600s. It was where Jane Austen went to balls. We don't need to destroy a lovely house, do we?
Go back to China.
Well, she wants to say that, but I want to say don't destroy the house. It's absolutely shocking. Why do we need to destroy? You've had a look and it looks awesome. Yes, it was in great condition in 2020 when these people bought it. They paid £17 million to buy a 232-acre property. That's an awful lot of money to buy a building site. Are they nuts? Or are they up to something? There's something a bit odd about these two. Anyway, we'll be watching them. Let's treat them in the same way we treat the people who destroyed the Crooked House pub. So now I'll come on to the next one. Here's the next one. Don't worry, I got a hold of a copy of the Daily Mail today. This man, Frasier star Kelsey Grammar. Now, he's a nice bloke too, isn't he? He buys a little house that was built in the 200-year-old house in Somerset, and he wants to knock it down. A 200-year-old house, and he wants to bulldoze it. What's wrong with him? Leave our heritage alone, you horrible people. So we've got the Chinese who's trying to destroy Jane Austen's house, and we've got this moron, Kelsey Grammar. I didn't even know Kelsey Grammar was until I read the article. He was in some kind of program or other, Frasier, I think. But he had a wife from Bristol, so he bought this little cottage overlooking the Bristol Channel and the Welsh coast, and now he wants to destroy it and knock it down. Well, why doesn't he rod off? If you don't like it, don't live here. We don't want you. Don't destroy our beautiful buildings. Wouldn't you agree? Hey?
Yes.
We don't want our beautiful buildings destroyed by foreigners. We don't want our beautiful buildings destroyed by locals or foreigners. We don't want our beautiful buildings destroyed by anyone. We want our buildings left alone.
Hey.
This horrible man, and you can look, there you are, villagers' anger as Frasier star wins battle to bulldoze Somerset Cottage. And he has won the right to pull it down. It was built 200 years ago, and he can pull it down. How on earth is this creep getting away with this? Who did he bribe? Shame on the planning people. Shame on the local council. Shame on everybody who allowed this creep to do this to this lovely old cottage. Now, it's not in the league of the Jane Austen house. The Jane Austen house, I'm more angry about because obviously it's a more significant dwelling. But this is a little cottage. It's a bit like when I went on and on and on, and I'm not going to go on any more about that cottage, but it's when I went on about the crooked house, when they burnt it down and they demolished it. You know, I ran my little campaign about the crooked house, and every one of you got so involved in the crooked house. Didn't we love the crooked house, the pub? The crooked house pub, you know, it had a bar that ran at an angle like that. It was one of the most fabulous places. My friend from Broadstairs, who was the local, I don't know, I'm not going to be nasty. I shouldn't say in this way. A lady who went to the local pub every day, and she would stand at the bar and she would drink many pints of beer, and she had a son who would stand with her, but she knew the Crooked House pub very well. And she told me how wonderful the Crooked House pub was and what an amazing place it was to visit. And these people burnt it to the ground. It should be rebuilt brick by brick. Shame on them. Absolutely shame on them. And I don't want these horrible people to pull down the Jane Austen house. And I think that this Kelsey Grammar man should be stopped also. Shame on him. Disgusting. Pulling down old buildings. Behave yourselves. Why do you want to pull down heritage, you stupid burps? What's wrong with you? Are you born in a barn? Are you born in a field? Are you a Burke? What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you, Kelsey Grammar? You are just a pest. You don't even belong in Britain. Now, bog off. Get out of our country. Bog off. I don't like you, Kelsey Grammar. And as for these Chinese, shame on you. You can go too. Bog off. Get out of our country. I am not prepared to stand for the destruction of heritage. And I stand with what was called SAVE. So Save Britain's Heritage said of Ash Park, the building is an important heritage asset for Hampshire, and its demolition would cause unjustified harm. This is a beautiful house with a characterful history. There are fascinating associations with Jane Austen and also a captain at the charge of the Light Brigade who rebuilt the house when he returned to Hampshire after the Crimean War. These shocking demolition plans would destroy a charming building and erase that history. Shame on you, Basingstoke and Dean Council. Basingstoke and Dean Council, you are a bag of bilge, you're a bag of shit, and you're doing to destroy, you're allowing this horrible Chinese couple to destroy our heritage. Jane Austen's house. What is wrong with you? You're meant to be there to protect. What is wrong with you? Are you mentally unhinged, you stupid people? Wouldn't you agree?
Totally.
It's absolutely wrong to pull it down. We don't want this building pulled down. We want it saved.
Get out of the country.
Yeah, well, you can have a go at me, whoever you are, Shandy, but bog off. I don't really need to have anyone questioning my sexuality because I'm daring to speak out against Kelsey Grammar. What's your problem? Why don't you just bog off, whoever you are? You're a creep. Right. There we are. Oh, I'm not allowed to criticize Kelsey Grammar. Okay. Oh, Kelsey Grammar is a wonderful person because he's married a woman younger than him. Oh, and you're attacking him. Well, I'm sorry. He wants to bulldoze a lovely old cottage. Wouldn't you agree that's wrong? Why does he need to pull it down?
Shocking.
Leave the cottage alone. The man is an absolute pest. We don't need him. Why doesn't he go back and live in Malibu, where he belongs? And as for his stupid wife, he's 70 and she's 46, and she was a flight. Oh, God, she was a flight attendant. Oh, yes, he met her on an aeroplane, of course. Anyway, tell her to rod off and rod off. I'm sorry, that cottage has been here 200 years. She's only been here 46. So tell her to shove off and shove up a jumper. Horrible woman. And as for him, look at him. Look at that creep. He is horrible. But don't you dare go around destroying beautiful houses. You horrible, horrible people. Leave our country alone. It's a lovely cottage. What's wrong with that cottage?
It's beautiful.
There's nothing wrong with it. It does not need to be demolished. Just to make way for him to build a bungalow, because he wants a bungalow. Oh, yes. It was described as a coast road treasure. It dates from the late 1800s. There we go. He wants to build a bungalow. Just because he wants to build a effing thing that he can look out to the sea with big glass doors. Well, respect the nation that you come to visit, you stupid American. You are a prat, you're a pillock, and you're absolutely ghastly. I cannot stand Kelsey Grammar and your 46-year-old wife, Katie Walsh, who happens to hail from Bristol, and you want to have a house near there, and you want to have it in a way you want. Well, why don't if you bought a cottage, respect the cottage and renovate it. Don't misabuse it. Wouldn't you agree?
Leave it alone.
No, they could renovate it and make it nice, but they don't have to pull it down, do they?
No.
Don't abuse the cottage, you horrible, horrible people. We don't like this Kelsey Grammar. Kelsey Grammar, I don't even know who you are. I don't know much about you, but you sound like a complete perfect pillock. Definitely one of the worst on the planet, Kelsey Grammar. Anyway, he claims he loved visiting this little spot. Well, if you love visiting, respect the place you love to visit. Don't abuse it, you moron. You are a moronic menace. And what you're doing to this lovely cottage, and the villagers are quite right. The villagers have got anger. And you've won the right to pull it down. So it's going. It will be demolished. This cottage is being demolished. The cottage is over. He won. A 200-year-old cottage, and you've destroyed it, you creep. You're a disgrace. Shame on you. You can't fix stupid, says Mr. Man. I totally agree with you. He is totally stupid, isn't he? Bungalow Bill. That's what we should call him. But no, Bungalow. We have another friend called Bungalow Bill, and he's a nice man. So no, we won't call him that. But this Bill the bulldozer. No, bulldozer Bill. We can call him Bulldozer Bill for what he's done to this poor cottage. A 200-year-old cottage. And then we've got these Chinese who pulled down Jane Austen's house. This is an absolute outrage. I didn't imagine I'd be getting so angry about all of these things of an evening, but there we go. Right. He has no contact with his children from his first wife, so that tells you a lot about the person he is. You can't abandon your kids. He's ignorant and selfish, and as are the Chinese couple, says Jane. Okay, I totally agree with you. You can't fix stupid. Well, there we are. Right. Okay. Right. I'll move on to my. Well, I haven't really finished. I haven't gone through everything about the Ash Park, but anyway, doesn't matter. We don't need to go through it all. So anyway, today, a lovely gentleman. I'm going to pour myself another drink because I have to. I haven't got much whiskey left. I'm going to have to go and buy some more tomorrow. There we go. A lovely gentleman called Picking Winners, and I hope Picking Winners is listening in, because I'm happy to give Picking Winners a plug. His Twitter account is @PickingWinners7. Gave some good advice on the Grand National. So the Grand National is obviously on Saturday, the 5th of April, which is coming up. So Picking Winners is a pro gambler, but I like the way he did a little thread. So I'm going to read it out to you. I copied his word for word, and I asked his permission before I did it, because that was only the decent thing to do. So this is how you should pick your horse for Saturday. If you want to bet on the Grand National, follow this tipping system, because this is a very good tipping system. You've got to look at various things, and most people they go, oh, I'll pick the name or the color or some silly thing. That's a load of rubbish. Okay. Right. I'm going to give you his tipping system. So the point one is age matters. So 9 of the last 11 winners were aged 7 to 9. There you go. Experience counts, but youth has edge. Very rare for horses aged 10 plus to win in recent years. The weight and ratings. Sweet spot. 10 stone, 3 pounds to 11 stone, 5 pounds. 9 out of 11 of the most recent winners. Official rankings between 146 to 160, 9 out of 11 winners. So keep this in mind. Too much weight is the great equalizer. Too little might indicate a lack of class. Recent form and season record. 5 out of 11 won their last race. 9 out of 11 raced within 49 days. 6 out of 11 ran at Cheltenham Festival. All had 3+ runs that season, but 9 out of 11 had a maximum of 6 winners. 9 out of 11 had at least 1 win that season. Betting in course form. 3 out of 11 were favourites or joint favourites. 7 out of 11 were 11 to 1 or at bigger odds. That is a very important thing to consider. 7 out of 11 had previous Aintree experience. 3 out of 11 had won an Aintree before. Experience and class. 10 out of 11 had 9+ chases. 8 out of 11 had 7+ runs at 3+ miles. And of course, it's a big race, the Grand National. 8 out of 11 had 3+ chase wins. 7 out of 11 had at least 1 grade 1 win. Strong hurdle record. 8 out of 11 had 6 hurdle runs. So that is what he had to say. 6 horses have been removed from the race. There are 4 reserves. The top in the race is 34. Look for all rounders with proven stamina is probably what I would advise. Look for the all rounders with the proven stamina. Look at the information I've just given you for Saturday, the 5th of April, if you want to bet on the Grand National. The Grand National is a complete lottery. It's a stupid horse race. It's the most stupid horse race on the planet. But they have made it easier, and there are less horses in it. So I'll say the Aintree Festival, the 3rd to the 5th of April, only bet what you can afford to lose. That's my advice to you. I'd say only bet what you can afford to lose. My advice is also go each way, bet each way, get a place, bet on a place, because the betting houses give lots of places, so do that. Anything goes in the Grand National. I would say bet on another race is probably a better piece of advice. Just enjoy it, and I'll say happy racing. So that's my advice to you all on the Grand National. Happy racing. Racing is one of the most fabulous things to enjoy on the planet, and I hope you have a wonderful time, whether you just watch or whether you bet and whether you win. But my advice is don't bet on the Grand National. It's a stupid race. I won't be betting on the Grand National.
I will.
Lady Min would love to. Meanwhile, we move on to another topic, which is the compensation for the victims of Mohammed Fayed. Yes, it's about time. The Fayed family are a shameful bunch of people, and it's time that they were forced to pay up. £385,000 per victim is not enough. They can afford to pay a hell of a lot more, so make them pay. You can't blame the children for the sins of their father, but they're a wicked bunch of people, and there is still one of them alive who is allegedly a sex abuser. So let's bring him to justice. Let's have him charged. Drag him before the courts, because he needs to face justice, because he's also allegedly a rapist and a filthy pedo, whatever he is. Let's bring him before the courts. I don't care about Camilla, Omar, and all the rest of them. I don't see them anymore. I don't know them. I haven't seen them in years. Let's bring the nasty old uncle before the court. Come on, let's have him charged. Right, so there we go. That's all I have to say on that topic. So let's do our quiz. Or unless you would like to do a few questions first. No, we'll do our quiz first. We'll do the quiz. So have I got anybody who can help me with my quiz? I need somebody to take notes for the quiz. Right. Have we anyone who can take notes for the quiz? Or do I have to do this quiz myself? Which is a little bit annoying because I'm not very good at doing the notes. I can do it, but it's a little bit... Stevie D will help. Okay. Stevie D, are you going to keep notes? Right. You've got to keep notes. Stevie D is the note taker for the quiz. Okay. Right. First question. What does KMN, an acronym of the Snapchat generation, mean? What does KMN mean? What does KMN mean? No. We haven't had one thing. Kiss my nose. No. That would be a nice thing. Korean music nutters. No. Miss Marple is close, but it's not quite correct. We need the correct answer, Miss Marple. So it's not kill me, no. Hey Tiggers gets the point. Hey Tiggers gets the point. Give Hey Tiggers the point, please, Stevie D. Stevie D, the answer is kill me now. It's not kill me no, it's kill me now. So, right. You get the point. Okay. A personal one, which I've enjoyed. I loved the place very much because I used to go there to see the lovely the trains. I used to go there and visit all sorts of trains, including the Flying Scotsman, which was owned by my friends, the lovely McAlpine family. I used to go to this place. In which Lancashire station was Brief Encounter filmed in 1945? It wasn't Crewe. It wasn't Hampshire. And it was filmed there because it was far enough away from major urban centres that the blackout could be avoided. Mud Hut gets it with Conforth. Mud Hut gets the point. Give the point to Mud Hut. Thank you, Mud Hut. Of course, it was the screenplay by Noel Coward. It was directed by David Lean, Celia Johnson, and Trevor Howard. It was one of the most lovely films, and I loved the film. And fabulous film. Absolutely great. Now, in which year was Liz Truss's Eats, Shoots and Leaves, the Zero Tolerance to Punctuation published? Lynn Truss. Lynn Truss. Nope. None of you get it right. Nope. Miss Marple gets it with 2003. So Lynn Truss was in 2003. Now we're going to come to Liz Truss. We're going to have a series of questions about Liz Truss. She's nothing to do with Lynn Truss. Lynn Truss was a fabulous lady. Liz Truss, I didn't like her. But when I thought of these questions, I thought, let's put them all together. In which year and month, and I need both, did Liz Truss become Prime Minister? In which year and month? Which year and month? So she became Prime Minister September 2022. Joyce Grove, you get the point. Of course, she became Prime Minister in September 2022. Okay, it was the 6th of September that she became Prime Minister. That was the thing that she did. Okay, in which year and which month did Liz Truss cease to be Prime Minister? And I want both again. I need the month. I don't expect the date, but which year? It was October. Joyce, Joyce, you get the point. Joyce Grove gets the point. It was, of course, the 25th of October. She lasted 49 days. She lasted longer. She didn't last as long as the lettuce, stupid woman. She was absolutely ghastly, wasn't she? Okay, right. Which a more positive question. Lovely gentleman, and I like him. Which British television presenter was Alan Sugar's advisor in the series The Apprentice and a countdown presenter from 2012 to 2021? What was his name? Joyce is in the lead. Well done, Joyce. No, I need his full name. It wasn't an old white-haired man. Well, that's a... You can't give an answer like that, hey, Tigers. But anyway, it's nice of you to try, but you're not going to get the point. Simon Coates gets the point. Well done, Simon Coates. Thank you, Simon Coates. Of course, it was Nick Hewer. Very nice gentleman. Met him a couple of times. Absolutely delightful gentleman. Absolutely civilized. He presented Countdown. Okay. Who were the two stars of the 1993 film The Remains of the Day? And I need both of them as answers. Who were the two stars? Kazuo Segura wrote the novel. Amazing man. Right, you've given me one answer, Anthony Hopkins. Lois Petzold gets the point because, of course, you answer Anthony Hopkins, Emma Thompson. It was filmed at Durham Park in South Gloucestershire. Kazuo Seguro, he wrote this when he'd never even been to Britain. Absolutely amazing gentleman. What an amazing film. I've watched it about 16, 17, 18 times. I love that film. It's one of my favorite films. What does the brand Richard Mille primarily produce? Their tag is a racing machine on the wrist. What do they produce? It is not a Hoover. It's not a washing machine. Simon Coates gets the point. It is a watch. Yes, watches. They produce watches. Okay, so you get the point on that one. What was the Christian name that the character Inspector Morse was embarrassed to share? He was played by John Thor in the TV series, but what was his Christian name that he didn't want to share because his Christian parents gave him? Right. The first one to answer is Lois Petzold. It's Endeavour, of course. It's Endeavour. He was called Endeavour Morse. He didn't like that. Okay. What are Great Cock Up and Little Cock Up? What are Great Cock Up and Little Cock Up? Joyce says place names. No, I won't accept that. No, they are.
Oh,
They're not villages. They're not bells. They're not towns. They're not roads. What are Great Cock Up and Little Cock Up? They're not pubs. They're not hamlets. Joyce Grove, you can have the point. Joyce Grove, well done. They are hills in the Lake District. That's what they are. Great Cock Up is a hill, and Little Cock Up is a hill in the Lake District. So they're both hills in the Lake District. So I will allow you to be the winner. Well said. All the rest of you winching and whining, bog off. What do Americans term a lollipop lady or a man? What do Americans term a lollipop lady or a man? Lois gets the point because Lois Petzold is right with a crossing guard. This is a family one. Where was Swallows and Amazons author Arthur Ransom, a man most associated with the Lake District and Norfolk Broads, buried? Where was he buried? It wasn't Windermere. It wasn't Canada. It wasn't Westminster. It wasn't Fife. It wasn't Belle Island. It wasn't the Cotswolds. It wasn't the North Sea. It wasn't Iona. You seem to think because of my associations it would be something to do with me. No. Well, it was in Cumbria, but I'm not going to accept Cumbria as an answer. It wasn't Broadstairs, it wasn't Coniston, it wasn't Bristol, it wasn't Highgate. No, it wasn't Yorkshire. So I think we'll accept 0 answers here. He was buried in Rustland in a lovely church in Cumbria. And I love going to visit that place because, of my association with him. So, yeah, I love my association with Arthur Ransom. He inspired me to write. I started writing as a child because I had an inspiring person I was involved with. So I'm very lucky I had such an inspiration. You don't start writing unless you have inspiration. And Arthur Ransom didn't just write about children's books, about silly books, about, sailing and children. He also wrote political books. He wrote books about fishing. He wrote so many books, and he was fabulous. What a fabulous writer. And I'm so lucky to have had that as an inspiration. So I credit my ability to write down to other people who inspired me to write. I never met this person because obviously I couldn't, because he was long dead before I was even alive. So it's impossible. But what a wonderful thing, hey? There we go. And I'll come to other inspirations in a moment in my next questions. Okay. If you were in Barney Rubble in Cockney rhyming slang, what would you be in? Okay. If you were in Barney Rubble, what would you be in? Miss Marple gets the point immediately. It's trouble. Of course, if you're in Barney Rubble, you're in trouble. I love a bit of Cockney rhyming slang. It's a great question for a quiz. We've always got to have a bit of that in my quizzes. I love it. So I'm going to always throw in a bit of Cockney slang. I've got to think of some American slang to throw in, or something else, some other kind of slang. I'll think about that. Some American slang. That'd be a good idea, because then it would be a bit of variety, because I can't keep doing Cockney all the time, because it's a bit much. And I will run out. So, right. Okay. What was the name of Margaret Thatcher's indomitable assistant whom had the most amazing organizational skills? What was the name of Margaret's assistant? It wasn't Dennis, that was her husband. So it's not Dennis. No, you are completely incorrect, Simon Coates. No, it wasn't Betty. It wasn't Joyce. Oh, Joyce is in the lead. Okay, thank you, Joyce. Well, we're glad Joyce is in the lead. It wasn't Janet Evans. We hate Janet Evans with a passion. Janet Evans never worked for Margaret Thatcher. I love Margaret with a passion, as you all know. So, no, Janet Evans, no thank you. Ugh. She'd make me want to vomit. I'd throw up if I even had to sit with her for 5 minutes. Keeley gets the point. It was Cynthia Crawford. Thank you, Keeley. You get the point. It was Cynthia. We loved Cynthia, our synth. My next question. Okay. Which British Prime Minister once said, "Dear, you cannot drink gin and tonic in the middle of the night. You must have whiskey to give you energy"? according to Crawford. Right, it wasn't Churchill. Enigma, you get the point. It was Margaret Thatcher. Yes, you said it to Crawford. We loved our Crawford. Crawford was the most amazing lady to spend time with because she knew everything about everybody. So when Margaret arrived, this woman had already told Margaret everything she needed to know about the person. So when I was asked, what was I doing in my A levels, for example, she'd go, "Oh, you're having a good time doing your A levels about economics." She knew already because this woman had been ahead and asked the question. This is how this amazing woman worked. She was a bloody amazing person. She was absolutely fabulous. You don't get people like that today. They all work via AI. Pathetic. Load of rubbish. This lady was simply like the human Encyclopedia Britannica. She was fabulous. I'm very lucky to have known such people. So my next question is, of which cricket club was Crawford, Margaret Thatcher's former secretary, appointed the first female president on the 27th of January 2021, which of course is my birthday? Which cricket club? It wasn't Cambridge. No, it wasn't Lancashire. It wasn't Marylebone. No. It wasn't Bombay. Nope. 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 And nope. It wasn't Yorkshire. It wasn't Oxford. It wasn't Middlesex. It wasn't Edgbaston. But we love our Crawford. It wasn't Headingley. It wasn't Lords. But Elizabeth Fraser gets the point. Elizabeth Fraser gets a point. It was... No. Yes, you do. We'll allow you to have the point. You didn't say county, but it is Worcestershire County Cricket Club. So, now, moving along to someone of the same name. In which year was the American model of the same surname, Cindy Crawford, born? Which year was Cindy Crawford born? And she is the sexiest woman I've ever met, ever in my life.
Yeah.
I was very impressed to meet her at Berkeley Hotel. Simon Coates gets the point. It was 1966. She was born on the 20th of February in Illinois. She was married to Richard Gere, and of course she's now married to Randy Gerber. I have never met anybody who I've seen who looks better in reality than in a photograph than Cindy Crawford. She is the most stunning person I've ever met in my life.
They're all for you.
Lady Men say she's a bit old for me, but no, it's nothing to do with whether she's too old for me. She was attractive in person. The vision of her was just unbelievable. I couldn't believe it. I met her and I thought, my God, you look better in reality than you look in.
90 now.
She's not 90.
She's going on there.
She was born in 1966. Anyway, she doesn't like her, but anyway.
I do like her.
There we go. Anyway, right, we'll carry on with our quiz. So be quiet. Okay, enough.
Shut up.
Shut up and be quiet. What did the founder of the Daily Mail, and don't you dare interrupt, Alfred Harmsworth, Lord Northcliffe, keep his pets in the garden of his seaside retreat in Broadstairs, Elmwood Close, close to the Northumberland Golf Club. What did he keep as pets? It wasn't peacocks. No, it wasn't donkeys. It wasn't ferrets. Right. It wasn't crocodiles. Nope. It wasn't rabbits, but crocodiles is close. It wasn't pigeons. It wasn't pigs. It wasn't penguins. It wasn't elephants. It wasn't sheep. It wasn't fish. It wasn't spiders. Miss Marple wins, of course, because it was alligators. He kept alligators in a giant mud bath. The man was a complete nutter, but he was a great friend of Hitler. So, the guy was a complete freak, obviously, let's be honest. So we'll give you the point. There you go. And my next question is, which sport is Bryony Frost? The lovely Bryony. And I love Bryony very much. Bryony Frost. Which sport is Bryony Frost associated with? It's not tennis. It's not darts. It's not swimming. It's not snooker. Joyce Grove gets the point. Well done, Joyce Grove. We celebrate Joyce Grove, don't we? Horse racing. We love Bryony Frost, don't we?
We do.
We love our Bryony. Bryony is one of the best of the best. Bryony is one of the most wonderful people in horse racing, and she's been abused by a lot of people, treated badly, and we won't tolerate any more abuse of Bryony because we love our Bryony. She's one of the best. Wouldn't you agree?
Yep.
We love our Bryony. Okay, now this is a very strange question because I'm not very good at numbers. I can't do anything to do with numbers, but I worked out how to write this question, even though I can't do numbers. If you were to subtract the opposite lesser number of each number on a clock from its highest opposite, what number would all numbers give? What number would it give? Hey Tiggers says it correctly. Of course, it's 6. So if you subtract 12 from 6, you get 6. Yep. Nope. There we go. I didn't even know this until recently. It's a very weird thing. And we love having our lovely Victoria Haig here, a wonderful jockey. We love our Bryony Frost, but we love our Victoria even more. We love our Victoria. So we love you very much. So cheers to you, Victoria. Welcome. But no, of course.
Which horse is she backing tomorrow?
We're not backing any horse tomorrow. You didn't understand the question. Okay. No. If you look at a clock, you will see everything minus everything comes to 6. Go to the opposite, and it comes to 6. 12 minus 6 is 6. It's as simple as that. Just go round the clock. So please don't question my question. That is not correct. My question is very accurate. Everything on a clock goes to 6. That's how it works. It's very, very simple. So please don't worry about it. Don't get upset about it. Whoever you are, it's not 3. It's not 66. It's not 4. Just look at a clock. Everything goes to 6. Oh, for God's sake. Now you're trying to row with me. Oh, please. Oh, my God. Anyway, right. Who won the quiz? Let's give a winner. Let's give a winner. Oh, dear. You don't like my questions. You don't like my questions. Okay.
Don't listen to them.
Well, you don't. If you don't like my questions, you don't have to join in, do you? So if you don't like them, bog off. Joyce is the winner. Thank you. Well done to Joyce. Well done, Joyce. I salute Joyce. The complaint is the quiz is too short. Well, I asked 20 questions. How many do you want? 50? 100? I can't be expected to do hundreds of questions. Sorry. No, I'm not doing 50 questions. Forget it. 50 questions a night.
Too much.
There's too much work for me. I can't do that. I'm sorry. Not possible. Not going to happen.
25 maybe.
20 is enough. 20 is enough. I will stick with
Otherwise
my
it gets boring.
20 is enough for each day. It's a lot of work. So no. No, I don't want to do more than 20. Sorry, not going to do it. Otherwise, I'll just do 0. I'll stop doing it altogether. I'm not going to be told how many questions I should ask. I don't get told anything about anything I should do in my life.
Oh, I told you.
20 is enough. 20 is quite enough. You know, some people said 10. I think 20 is enough. I think it's a good balance. 20 is a good balance. So I'm not going to do more than 20. So there we go. My quiz, my rules. Yep, precisely. So, right. Anyway, let's move on from this boring quiz. Right, I'll put a tick here because I've done it. Because I've got to do the other one tomorrow. Right. Ask me some questions about something else. Let's talk about something else. Let's have 10 minutes on something else. Come on, questions, please. Welcome. Thank you. I'm going to have a whiskey because I need one because I've had enough of this. I can't stand people moaning and groaning at me. So I'll have a whiskey. Anyway, right. Talk to me about something else. Ask me some questions. Ask me about something else. Do I play pub quizzes myself? No, I don't play pub quizzes myself. No, can't say I do. I never have, but I'd happily join in if I were in one, but I just don't go to pub quizzes. But I would join in if I were invited to one. I really would. I'm not being rude about a pub quiz. I'm just saying I just haven't been to one. Do I like Robert Graves' work? I don't know who Robert Graves is. I'm very sorry. I'm perhaps being very... I've never met his wife, Beryl, either, so I don't know who they are. I'm terribly sorry. I hope I'm not being rude, but I don't know who they are. What are my thoughts on Hugh Janis? I don't know who he is. So I don't know why. Did I like Eric Clapton? I think Eric Clapton's fabulous. Lovely man. One of my friends' wife was his ex-wife. So there we go. There we are. That's all I can say about that. Can I say more about the farmers? Of course, I support the farmers. We all support the farmers. We love the farmers. The farmers are fabulous. What whiskey do I like? Well, if I had any choice, I wouldn't be drinking Famous Grouse, but that's just what I happen to drink because it's cheap and it's easy and you can get it here. But my father.
J and B.
No, she's shouting in the background, but she's wrong. No, I would of course be having the Dallas stew because my father's involvement with that, and I love that stuff, and it's far better than anything on the planet. I like Lafroig, I like Lagavulin, I like Nokandu, I like so many whiskies. I'm a big whiskey drinker. I love whiskey, but I drink it with water, just a little bit of water. You don't need anything else with it. There we go. Do I like bourbon? No, certainly not. Not for me. Right. Did I ever go to Ronnie Scott's? Yes, of course I go there. My friend owns Ronnie Scott's, the lovely lady who owns the Old Vic Theatre. So she owns that as well. Right. Right. Okay. Next questions. You got thrown out of Ronnie Scott's for sparking up a joint. Oh dear. Well, I'm very sorry. I wasn't responsible for your behaviour in Ronnie Scott's, but so I couldn't possibly be held responsible for you being thrown out, could I? Right. Have I ever had black bush? I don't know what black bush is. Never had it. How did I become acquainted with Sean Atwood? I think I was introduced to him when he contacted me about my writing about Ghislaine Maxwell, I suppose. I don't know. I've absolutely no idea. Madeleine McCann, it could have been. I don't know. It could have been any manner of these things. I have absolutely no problem with Mr. Sean Atwood. He's very polite to me, and I wish him all the best. So, no, I have no problem with Mr. Sean Atwood. Hopefully he's doing very well and great success. And I have spoken with him a few days ago. And look, I don't need to have a problem with every single person on the planet. So he is someone who I speak with occasionally. So I wish him all the best. And I wish him happiness galore. And I wish him and his lovely child and wife or lady friend all the best on the planet. Don't we agree, Lady Min? We wish him all the best.
Yeah.
We wish him all the best. The best in the West. Happiness galore to Sean Atwood. That's all I need to say. So if you want to ask further questions, please don't bother. Right. Okay. Next question. You think I've had a big falling out with him? I haven't had a big falling out with him. No. Have I had a big falling out with him?
It's a parting of the ways.
It's not a big falling out. It's not a parting of the ways either. She is wrong in the background also. I'm perfectly happy to talk with him, and we talked the other day, and we talked live on. There's no great problem with anything. So there we are. Well, some of you have differing views, but I wish the man well. Should the UK be backing Israel in its wars? Well, I don't really like. I don't like the attacks upon the on the Israeli people, no. But that's about as far as I should probably go. There we are. I don't think it's wise for me to talk about that topic. Well, anyway, I thank you all for coming here, given that some of you think there's a big falling out between me and the Sean Atwood man. I'm just me. It doesn't matter what anyone else thinks of me. If you want to support me, I welcome you supporting me. So I don't need you to have any loyalty to anyone else, do I? So if you want to support me, I welcome your support. Thank you ever so much. That is so kind of you. Thank you. Wouldn't that be a nice thing to say? Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for being part of my life. Thank you for being part of my world. If you want to support other people, it's not mutually exclusive. It doesn't offend me. I couldn't give a damn. Cheers to you and cheers to me and cheers to me if we disagree. So there we go. That's how I feel. I'm just me, myself, and I. I really don't care if people don't like me. If you don't like me, tell me to bog off. Or just bog off yourself and ignore me. Why don't you do that? That'd be much easier, wouldn't it? Then you don't have to even tell me to bog off. So just bog off yourself. Thank you. That'd be lovely. Absolutely fabulous. Clear off, leave me alone, and don't ever come back. Thank you. That's how I feel. Okay. That's how I feel. I just don't want people who don't want to be in my orbit. That's how I feel. If you don't like me, tell me to bog off. Or just bog off yourselves and don't keep harassing me. Thank you. That's how I want my life to be. Please leave me alone if you don't want to be in my life. I don't need you in my life. I love having the wonderful people who I love in my life and the people who contact me who want to be in my life, like the lovely Samantha Markle. I have people like her, fabulous people. I enjoy their company. And they write to me and they share their stories of their things that are happening in their lives. We don't need the boring people who are not relevant. So let's move on. Precisely. The bog off principle, says Mr. Man. Yep, I agree with you. Block them, says Jane. Well done, Jane. Yep. Appointment of a moderator and boot them out. Well, I don't know. It's very hard to boot them out. Did I meet Dr. Sophie Shanduka? No, I've never met Dr. Sophie Shanduka. No, I've never met her, but I'm sorry for Dr. Shanduka. Prince Harry has treated her appallingly. Shame on Prince Harry. Right. Right. Next question. Right. Right. Anyway, it is probably time we ended this broadcast. I think we've nearly reached the end of the line. Let's be honest. Thank you very much for joining in. What's outside the door behind me? There's a garden. Yes. I water it every morning. I spend more of my life doing watering a garden than anything else.
Garden is looking beautiful.
Lady Min likes her garden.
I love it.
And who looks after the garden?
Matthew.
There you go. So it's me that waters this bloody garden. It takes a lot of work, but it's a nice garden, and I enjoy doing it. I don't mind watering the garden, but it's time for her to go to bed, and it's time for us to end our
More
program.
daisies.
It's time to end our program and time to say good night and good gardening. And thank you very much to you all. You've been absolutely fabulous guests. We've had a lovely evening chatting with you. And tomorrow we'll return again. So take care and have a wonderful evening. Take care. Good night and take care. Good night. Bye bye.